So now we're recording. But we will wait for Lawrence. Yeah. So nice.
Is it just you in the recording or also us?
Huh?
Is it just you on the recording or do they also see me?
I think they're just gonna see what we see. So you like my video is big. So I mean, maybe you'll kind of be visible, but don't worry. Hi. Sorry. Don't worry. Okay, so you need a blanket and have blocks nearby if you have them. And then we're gonna start on our backs. So what you're gonna do, you don't lie down yet, but you're gonna grab for your blanket thing. And then it can be long like this. And then you're gonna fold it in half. So it's kind of like you have fold it in half and then once and then fold it in half again. Right? And then you're gonna set this up on like the upper third of your mat. And then lie down on top of it so that the mat or the blanket arrives like here. Does that make sense? Yeah, so you can, yeah, perfect. Yeah, nice. Yeah, so it's a little mini back bend to start, and then your feet can be bent, and then you can let them straighten once you're comfortable on the blanket, like you're coming into Shavasana. And I'll just mute Maddie and Anna. But obviously, if you have questions, feel free to unmute. Oh, and I forgot to say this, but if you want to put on the playlist, I can send it here in the Zoom, and then you can put it on your own. There you go.
You left.
Other way.
Oh, wait.
Or lie down so that it's like, here, just sit up for a sec. And then turn around to put your butt on the side.
Wait, what?
Because it needs to be like closer up your back. And if you only start opposites,
Okay.
then it'll be easy. There's just more space. Yeah. And then so have it land like there. So the blanket should be like there. Yeah. Nice. Perfect. Great. Cool. So now that we're all in that, you can lengthen out your legs and you can close your eyes. And you can just let your arms come out to kind of like a T shape, either over the mat or above the mat, whatever feels most comfortable. Hopefully a lot of what we'll do in class today will make you feel more comfortable and calm. So make your choices based on what your body and your mind want. Cool. So just finding your breath, starting to listen to your inhale and exhale and notice how fast or slow you're going. Just notice it, don't manipulate it yet. Okay. And then we're just gonna find an even count breath, which is something that I like to do anytime that I get stressed. So hopefully it'll help you here too. So take a few cycles of normal breath as I explain, but you're gonna inhale and count to 4, hold on full and count to 4, exhale for 4, and then hold on empty for 4. So take one normal breath, inhaling, then exhale out the mouth. And then you can start inhaling 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4. Hold on empty. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold on empty. 2, 3, 4. And keep going like that on your own. You can quicken or slow down the count of 4. Whatever feels nice. Seeing how much breath you can take in and hold. We're in a slight back bend, which gives our lungs more space and gives us more space just to breathe in more air. We also like to call this breath the breath of the seasons, where we inhale and we think that we're starting to grow everything as if we're in spring. We hold on full and we ripen everything in summer. And as you exhale, you can imagine the leaves falling like we're in autumn. And then hold on empty, similar to a barren winter. So thinking about that as you're inhaling and exhaling, take one more full round and then come back to your normal breath. Noticing if there's any tension in any other parts of your body, like your toes or your hands or your jaw. And relax your forehead. And once you're back to your normal breath, you're gonna reach your arms up overhead and hook your thumbs together. You're still lying down on the ground. And then point your toes forward as if you're stretching for the first time in the morning, waking up. Take one cycle of breath here, really stretching from side to side. You can kind of go left and right with your hands. And then let that go and roll over onto one side. So then you come into a fetal position in any way. And then you're gonna come up to an all fours position. You can move the blanket away and you can start the music. I will start the music. And then once you're there, you're gonna find your tabletop position. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Find that perfect rectangle. And then you can begin your pats and cows, inhaling as you arch and exhaling as you round. Nice. And really make sure that there's enough space in between your hands and your shoulders for your entire chest to move through. So you can widen your hands a little bit if you think you need more space to be like, I'm coming. Cool. Great, so keep going. Probably going at the pace of your breath right now, which is totally fine. Still think about pressing down into the ground with both the hands and your feet, which give you more ability to move around in your upper body. And then change the speed of how you're going. Either slow it down if you want a more sense of grounding, or if you want to speed up and light a fire underneath you, go a little bit faster. And you can try to go at any pace that feels right for your body. See if you can go faster than normal or slower than you've ever gone before. Try to find either extreme. Nice, Nadi. And then take a few more rounds at whatever pace you're going. Still thinking about your feet pressing down so you have the strength of your legs beneath you. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then our favorite thing, come back to neutral and then flip your hands around 180 degrees. Nice. Cool. Once again, make sure your hands and shoulders, or your hands are as wide as your shoulders. So Lawrence and Lisa can both widen their hands a little bit more, which means Nadi and Anna, you probably can too. And then take circles to the right with your hips. Making circles around your wrists. And notice what your head is doing. You can shake it out and also take circles with it if that feels nice. But we just don't want it to hold tension when we should be trying to release it. Nice. Keep breathing. Notice the mobility of your hips today. If you've been biking or spinning or running a lot, you might not have as much mobility as on a day where you didn't do that. So this is starting to get into the hips and creating more space, lubricating the joints there. And then take circles in the other direction. Keep that slight bend in your elbows. Notice that your wrists are still parallel to the front of your mat. If not, fix them. We have the fortune of being able to look with our eyes at what we're doing. So if it doesn't look like they're in the same line, move them. And then still have that bend in your elbows, and imagine with the bend in your elbows that you're pulling your elbows apart without moving your hands, and that'll really give you even more ability to move your chest through your shoulders. Nice. And notice where your eyes are looking. Try not to look behind you. Try to look down and out. Take one more circle to the left, and then come back to neutral. Nice. Cool, we're almost done with all fours. Now, you can bring your weight back into your knees and then just interlace your hands together and then place that down on the ground. Yeah, nice. This is just a different interlacing. And then just take some rocks forward and back. So the interlace looks like this, and it's on the ground. Nice. And once again, notice where you're looking. Make sure your knees are still underneath your hips. Cool, and this is just another way to get into the shoulders and the hands. Very good, Anna and Maddie. Cool. Somebody's calling. That's a good story. So anyway, we're gonna stay in this position and I'll tell the story in a different pose so you're not here forever. Okay, take a few more cycles of breath here. He's a DHL guy. And then you're gonna release this interlacing with your hands, come back to a normal all fours position, find your form once again, and then you're gonna bend your elbows in towards your chest, and then bring your chest down to the ground, and then just scoot your legs back as you need to get you on the ground straight. Yeah, nice. So your elbows are in towards your chest. Your forehead can be on the mat right now. It doesn't need to do anything. And then you're going to take a few rounds of cobra, baby cobras, inhaling as you lift your head, neck, and chest up. And then exhale as you come back down. Take two more, inhaling, lift. Exhaling down. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, come back down. Great. Now you're going to take your hands on the floor. So you're going to bring them from underneath your shoulders to like this type of weird, creepy, crawly position where your fingertips are on the floor as if you have a ball, a lacrosse ball and orange underneath them. Your elbows are facing up towards the sky and you're kind of making like a goalpost position. Nice. Then on your inhale, you're going to lift your chest, neck, and head up. As you lift yourself up, your arms can kind of straighten, nice. And then exhale, bend your elbows and let yourself come back down. Great, and take two more of those, inhaling as you arch, and exhaling as you come back down. And imagine that you're pulling back on your spine and lengthening forward, out, and up, and that's what brings you up with the back bend. Let's try that one more time. Inhaling, lengthening out like you're making a rainbow. Exhale, come back down. Now you're going to replace your hands with your elbows. So now you have like a goalpost position on the ground. Yeah. And make sure you have two 90-degree angles. Good. And then you're going to take your right ear, place it on the mat, and then roll over onto your right side. You can place your left hand underneath your shoulder to give you a bit more leverage. Nice. Yeah. But you should still keep a 90-degree angle in your right arm. Good. Cool. You can step your left foot behind you and bend it to give you a little bit more leverage to rock back and forth, opening up the front right pec. A few more cycles of breath. Nice. And then come back through center, find your forehead on the mat. Make a goalpost with your left hand, place your right hand underneath your shoulder. Great. And then roll over onto the left side, left chest, ear and cheek are on the mat. Nice. Good job, guys. And you can rock forward and back, giving yourself a little bit of a dynamic stretch to continue to open it up. A few more cycles. And then come back to find your forehead on the mat, hands underneath your shoulders again. Ooh, sorry. And then place your hands underneath your shoulders, and using that, press yourself back into a child's pose. Great. Cool. So really find the connection between the forehead and the ground here. The pituitary gland at the top of your head, when it touches something, it really helps calm the nervous system. So we're gonna do a few things today that really have the forehead or the crown of the head touch something, because it's a very calming movement or pose or posture or whatever you wanna call it. So take one more cycle of breath in your child's pose. Hands are as wide as your shoulders. Nice. And then press up into your hands, find your feet, tuck your toes, and then come back into your downward facing dog. Have that bend in your knees. We're gonna stay here for a bit, so just know that we will be here for a little bit. So come forward into your plank pose. Really measure it out. If you had to move your hands or your feet, know that. And now keep your hands and your feet where they are, and then bend your knees and stick your butt up, coming back into your downward facing dog. Cool. So then we're just gonna formalize this a bit. You can pedal your feet out right and left just to get some movement and mobility into the calves already. And then once you've done that, as you're taking these motions, really think of wrapping your biceps up towards the ceiling and your triceps down towards the floor. Yeah, that type of movement. And then press your palms strongly down into the ground. Nice. Let the energy flow up the crescendo of the back, and then let it shoot out the butt to the sky. And then back, let it come back down through the crescendo and the bend of the knees, and then down through the heels. Nice. Few more cycles of breath, finding your form, feeling that circuitous energy from your hands to the sky, down to the feet, and then down through the earth, back to your hands. One more cycle of breath. And then step your right foot to your right thumb. Beautiful, cool. So once again, find a 90-degree angle here. Anytime we're bending something, it's, I want to say 100% of the time 90-degree angle, but nothing is ever 100% of the time. So 99% of the time you're in a 90-degree angle. So on your foot underneath your knee, cool. Once you have that, you can place your back knee down, untuck your back toes, find the same grounding you did in your all fours position in the top of the back foot, and then reach your arms forward, out and up, and come into Anjaneyasana. Great. Once you're there, you can grab your opposite elbow. Cool. Especially if you have something above you. And then still make sure that your knee is on top of your ankle. So you can move it back. Yeah. If it doesn't feel good, move it. And you can move yours forward. Great. Cool. A few more cycles of breath. Finding your hips square. Imagine your pelvis pressing forward, similar to the baby cobras. Your back knee. Great. And then reach your hands up and be cautious. And then place your hands down to frame your front foot. And similar to what we did in our past few classes, you're going to try to find that connection between your right armpit and your right knee. And then you're going to tuck your back toes and then begin to straighten to the front leg, but keep your back knee on the ground as you inhale. Lift your right toes up. Yeah. And then exhale, come back to your lunge. Inhale, straighten your back leg, lift your knee up. Straighten to the front leg. Straighten both legs. And then exhale, come back to your lunge. So inhale, just straighten one leg, then the other. Exhale, come to your lunge. Inhale, straighten both legs. Exhale, come back to your lunge. And just take a few more of those on your own. You can take it at whatever breath pace that you want. You can place your hands on blocks if that's nice. Great. But see if you can keep the connection between your armpit and your knee and your chest and your thigh. Connections and contact bring safety and calmness and a sense of security to your body. So our nervous system really likes that when you find a connection. It's also very satisfying. So take one more round, and then we'll all meet back in our little lunge. Cool. And once we're back in our little lunge, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and then step yourself back to your downward facing dog. Great. Cool. Pedal it out. Find your down dog. And then as you inhale, bring your body forward and through upward facing dog. So keep your legs tuck-toed upward facing dog. Keep your legs as if they're in a plank. And then bend the knees, stick the butt up, downward facing dog. Cool. Inhale one more time. Upward facing dog. Yeah. Exhale, the knees. Oops. Make sure your knees are tracking over your toes. So you can also look back at your feet and just make sure that's happening. Cool. On your next inhale, step your left foot to your left thumb. Nice. Once again, find the connection between your left elbow and your left knee. Great. Find your 90-degree angle in your front leg. And then reach your arms forward, out, and up after you step the back knee down and untuck the back toes. Great. And then grab for opposite elbow. Cool. Imagine someone's pressing into your back behind you. So you're trying to make a crescent moon-like shape from the back, your back foot up, your leg, out your arms. Take a few more cycles of breath here. Notice what's happening with your front and back foot. One more breath. And then reach your arms up and place them back down. Frame your front foot. Cool, and then we'll take the same flow we did on the other side on this side. Then more into your back knee. Lift the left toes up. Exhale, come back to your lunge. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, straighten both legs. Come back to your lunge. Bend one leg. And just take it on your own breath. Getting into the hamstrings and the backs of the legs more. This is really helpful if you're running or biking. I mean, everything in yoga is helpful for the types of exercises that typically contract your muscles. What we're now trying to do is open them up and lengthen them. So that's why yoga is such a good counterpart to those types of things, which are also great. Cool. Take one more round. And notice where you're looking. Try to continue looking out and down in front of you or out and up, just not behind you. And then we'll meet in our little lunge, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and come back into your downward facing dog. Next, once you're here, pedal it out. Notice where your feet and arms and knees and all that stuff are. And then inhale, bring your body forward and through, upward facing dog, toes tucked. Letting your chest and neck and everything come through, and exhale, come back to your downward facing dog. Take that one more time on your inhale and exhale on your own, really creating enough space. Yeah. Cool, and from here, place your knees down on the ground. Bring your knees together, untuck your toes, bring your feet together. And then we're gonna come into one of my favorite poses, seed pose. So it's basically a child's pose. So you can start out in the child's pose, and then you're gonna bring your hands to your heels to just cup your feet. So you look like a little seed. And then your forehead can just be on the ground. Great. So just take a few minutes, few cycles of breath. We'll see if it's minutes as I keep talking. And just once again, find the connection between the forehead and the ground. We're gonna move into a variation of moon salutations, which are a variation because I don't remember exactly how to teach them. So this is what I remember. So they're fun though, and a little bit more calming and soothing than a normal sun salutation. And we are prepared for them. So you're gonna place your hands out in front of you, come into a child's pose. Then using your hands, you're gonna press yourself forward and through to a top-toed upward facing dog. From there, you're gonna bend your knees, stick your butt up, downward facing dog. And then step your right foot forward, low lunge. Step your left foot forward, meet together at the front, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Inhale, reach your arms forward or out and up, swan dive. And then exhale, swan dive over your legs. Next. Inhale, step your left leg back, low lunge. Exhale, step your right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your body forward and through upward facing dog. Exhale, come back to your child's pose. Inhale, come back to your seed pose, and exhale, stay there. Take one more cycle of breath, just in your seed pose. Cool. On your next inhale, arms out, forward through to a child's pose. Exhale, upward facing dog. Inhale, bend the knees, stick the butt up, downward facing dog. Exhale, left foot, low lunge. Inhale, right foot, forward fold, and just exhale over your legs. Inhale, lengthen out your spine, hands on your shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Press your palms together overhead. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Inhale, step your right foot back, low lunge. Exhale, step your left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, body forward and through, upward facing dog. Toes are still tucked, legs are off the ground. Exhale, bend the knees, child's pose. Inhale, seed pose. Exhale, stay in your seed pose. Take one more inhale and exhale, and we'll do one more on either side. Awesome. Inhale, bring your arms forward, child's pose. Exhale, body forward and through, upward facing dog. Inhale, bend the knees, stick the butt up. Exhale, step your right foot forward, low lunge. Inhale, step your left foot forward. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Inhale, reach your arms out and up, press palms together overhead. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. Inhale, step your left foot back, low lunge. Whoa. Exhale, step your right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your body forward and through upward facing dog. And then exhale, child's pose. Inhale, seed pose, stay there. And stay there for one round of that breath. Last round, inhale, come forward and through to your child's pose. Exhale, upward facing dog. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Inhale, step your right foot forward. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Let your head drop. Inhale, lengthen out your spine. Exhale, come back down. Inhale, bring your arms up and out, press palms together overhead. And then exhale, forward fold over your legs. Inhale, step your right foot back, low lunge. Exhale, step your left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your body forward and through, upward facing dog. Place your knees down, inhale, child's pose. Or exhale, and then come back to your seat pose. Placing your hands on your heels, we'll stay here for a few rounds of breath. Inhaling and exhaling into the connection between your forehead and the ground. Calming the nervous system. Enjoying the energy or vibrations that we get from moving in a flow. Cool. Great. And then come back, let your arms lengthen out, come back into child's pose, just so you can feel the lengthening of your spine and how that feels different from when your hands are tucked, hands and arms are tucked behind you. Cool. And now you're gonna grab a block that is nearby. Hopefully it's soft and not a cork one, but if you have a cork one, life will be okay. So you're gonna find your block on the highest height, and you can kind of sit up and get into this, but we're just gonna come into a downward facing dog with our forehead on our block. So your block will look like this on the mat. Great. Oh, wow. Great job. But straighten your arms still. So your downward facing dog still looks normal. It's just that you have a fifth point of contact and your forehead's on the block. Great. If you need to move the block for any reason, do so. Or just move your body. And just breathe into this. Breathe into the connection to the forehead. You can even rock your forehead from side to side if that feels available to you. And really feel the energy of the legs pressing down. Knees are still bent. Knees are tracking over toes. Stick your butt up to the sky. Yeah. Twerk your butt up to the sky. And I know you can do it. One more cycle of breath. And then you can remove the block from underneath your head. Come back into your down dog. One more down dog variation that I love to do because it feels so nice. In your down dog, you're just gonna step your right foot about a foot forward. It's about a footprint forward. So the whole sole of the right foot is down on the ground. Your left foot only has the front of it. And then your left knee is even more bent. And then your right leg is straightened. So you're really getting a good stretch into your hamstring. One more breath here. And then step your right foot back. Step your left foot forward. You can take any rocks or sways or wiggles that you want. And you don't need to step it that far. It could be like right in front of your left toes or whichever toes. Cool. One more cycle of breath. And then come back into your normal down dog. Cool. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up, down dog split. On your exhale, bring your right foot to your right thumb. Nice. Place your back knee down, untuck your back toes. Find your right knee on top of your right ankle. And then reach your arms forward, out, and up again. Come into Anjaneyasana. And this time, bring your arms out to a T on either side. And then just hook your right elbow underneath your left. Yeah. Other way. Other way. Yeah, perfect. Cool. And then grab your left wrist with your right hand. Make a fist with your left hand. And then reach your elbows out and up. So you're coming to a little bit of a back bend in this Anjaneyasana. So notice what your knee is doing. Bring it closer here. Yeah. And see if you can press your hips a little bit forward. One more cycle of breath. Inhaling into the shoulders. And then let that arm grip go. Place your hands down, both on the inside of your right foot. Nice. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. And then place the whole sole of the foot down and turn your left toes out. And then turn your right toes in, so you're coming into a wide-legged straddle on your mat. Nice. Cool. And once again, I hope your block or something is handy. And then try to find the crown of your head on top of something. Yeah. So the crown of your head is this part of your head. The forehead is here. So now we're going to try to find the crown of your head on top of something. Whereas before we were finding the forehead. And still have that nice bend in your knees. And just let your body relax over. Relax your jaw. Imagine relaxing your tongue. I like doing that. And as gravity helps you bend forward more, then you can also lower whichever height the block is on, or multiple blocks or books or anything. Cool. One more cycle of breath. And then you'll remove the block from under you. And then continue walking yourself around. So you come into a low lunge at the back of your mat. So you're in a low lunge, a left lunge, left low lunge. Your back knee is still off the ground, toes are tucked. And then lift your left arm up towards the ceiling, twisting with your upper body, but keeping your hips square. Yeah, nice. And look up towards your thumb, opening your hand. Good. Really have energy out the back heel. Straighten this more. Lift it. Yeah, nice. One more cycle of breath. And then swing your left arm over your ear. And as you do that, try to straighten into your left leg. So your hand doesn't come on the ground yet. It kind of looks like this. Yep, and then straighten into your left leg a bit. And then bend back into your knee, come into your left lunge, place both hands on the ground, and then step back into your downward facing dog. Great. Inhale, bring your body forward and through upward facing dog, rinse it out. Make sure your legs don't touch the ground. And then bend the knees, take the butt up, downward facing dog. Cool. And we'll take it all on the left side. So lift your left leg up, down dog split. Hips are square, good. And then bring your left foot to your left thumb. Great. Place your back knee down, untuck the back toes. Hips are still in one line. Yeah, nice. Cool. And from there, reach your arms forward, out and up. Bring your arms out to either side, and then hook your left elbow underneath your right. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and make a fist with your right hand. Cool. And then reach your elbows forward and out. Yeah. Forward, out, and up. So the back bends all originate from going forward, even though it's called a back bend. So the going forward will help you go back. What a concept. One more cycle of breath. I know it's hard to balance here. Good hips, guys. And then place both hands down on the inside of your left foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and then once again begin to spin over to the right side. Yep, coming into a wide-legged straddle on this side. This time you're going to interlace your hands behind your back and just let your arms fall over you. Great. Relax your head. Let your head just drop. Yeah, nice. Beautiful. A few more cycles of breath. Notice the outer edges of your feet. See what they're doing. Try to find energy pushing down to the floor on all four corners of your feet. Yeah. One more cycle of breath. And then without flinging, place your hands back down on the ground. And then walk yourself forward to a low lunge on the right side. Cool. From here, place your left hand down on the ground strongly and lift your right arm up, looking at your right thumb. Hips are still square. Spinning open to the right side. One cycle of breath in this twist. Very nice. Energy out the back leg. Yeah, you should be that high. And then bring your right arm over your ear and then begin to straighten into your right leg. Yeah, straighten into the right leg if you can. Yeah. And then place both hands on the ground. And then step it back into your downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Take any movements you want with your hips or anything. Beautiful. Inhale, bring your body forward and through, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then place your knees down as wide as the mat and come into another child's pose. Finding that connection between the forehead and the ground. If your forehead isn't touching the ground, you can always put a block underneath it. Great. And really let gravity help you spread your entire torso in between your legs. One more cycle of breath. Great. Now we're gonna try a fun thing. Okay, that was an evil laugh. So your arms are out in front of you in your child's pose. You're gonna just come up onto your knees and like sit for a second, just so then we're all on the same page. But you're gonna find your arms kind of like this, so they're in line with your shoulders, similar to if you were in an all fours position. You're just gonna replace your hands with your elbows. So now you're in like, you're getting ready to do a forearm plank. And then you're gonna just tuck your toes behind you and then come into a downward facing dog, but your forearms are gonna be on the ground. But what's really important that your forearms, they stay as wide as your shoulders because you still want that space for your whole chest and lungs and collarbone and everything to come in between. And your hands should still be in line with your shoulders. So you wanna feel like they're tucking in, yeah. Yeah, and then bend the knees, stick the butt up so you can walk your feet in closer towards you. Yeah. And really, really wrapped in. Yeah, beautiful. And let your hands kind of relax. One more cycle of breath in this forearm dog. I don't know if you've ever done this before, but it's for fun. Lisa's laughing of pain. And then press your hands down to the ground and bring yourself up into a normal down dog. Cool. Now we're in fun down dog. One more inhale forward and through, upward facing dog. Really let your chest and collarbones come through, energy through the legs, and then exhale, downward facing dog. And then walk your feet up to your hands. So you're in a forward fold at the front of the mat. Find hips width distance in between your knees, between your arches. So you can measure 2 fists in between. Great, and then really just let your head shake yes and no out and over the legs. Cool. Have that bend in your knees. Imagine that your knees can touch your armpits. Cool. One more cycle of breath, just hanging. And then we're gonna take Padahastasana and then the opposite of it. So you're gonna place your entire hand just underneath your foot. So if that means you need to bend your knees more, bend your knees more. And then you're gonna inhale, straighten your arms, lengthen, look out. And then exhale, just bend your elbows out to the right and left. Bend your knees even more if you need to, and just let your head and chest and neck and everything drop over. Cool. And really try to get your entire hand under the foot so your toes can wiggle and tickle your wrists. And really just bend into your elbows, bend into your knees. Cool. One more cycle of breath. I really like staying here, but it's a lot on the legs. And find your balance. Cool, and then release your hands. You can shake out your wrists. You can sway from side to side. And then we'll take the opposite. So that means you're gonna cup each heel with your hand. So cup the left, cup the right. And then once again, inhale, straighten, lengthen your neck back out. And then exhale, bend yourself over and really just tuck in, kind of like we're back in that seed pose again, just differently. Cool. And this, it'll also give you another chance to really get that connection between your elbows and your knees. Really nice, Lawrence. Good job, Lisa. We all look like little seedlings standing. I love it. Cool. Okay, one more cycle of breath. And then let your hands go. And then slowly, slowly, as slow as you can, you're gonna roll yourself up. Imagine you're stacking vertebra by vertebra, really rolling up through the spine, and then your head is last to lift. And then once you get to the top, you can shake all that out or hit as many lights that are in your vicinity. Cool. We're gonna take one or two more things and then we're gonna rest, so don't worry. But the first thing that we're gonna do is we're just gonna step back into a pyramid pose. So you're in your forward fold or you're in your hips width distance thing. You're gonna place your hands on your hips and just step back. And your back toes are facing the upper right diagonal of your mat. And then now you have options. So you can either take a secret fist bump behind you as we bend over, or you can take secret prayer, which means you're in a prayer position behind you. If you can't do secret prayer, just do secret fist bump. Both are secret and fun. And then you're gonna lift forward out and up with your chest, and then exhale, bend over your legs. And this was a really nice chest opener, shoulder opener, and back of the leg opener. I was reminded last week that our hamstrings are the lungs of our legs. So as we open our hamstrings, we're allowing our legs to breathe better, which is always a good thing. We always want more space for more air and more blood and more oxygen to come through. Really think about keeping your hips square in this. One more cycle of breath. And then slowly release your hands. Step your right foot back into your forward fold. Interlace your hands behind your back and then switch the interlacing so it's the weird way. And then once again, let your arms hang over you like they're a canopy of trees. Cool. Yeah, and you can rock from side to side. Cool. And then you can let that go. Let your hands go. And then once again, slowly, slowly roll up. Imagine you're a really, really heavy weight on the top of your head. Yeah, so you roll up super slowly and heavy. Like you're moving through molasses is one of my teacher's sayings. So now we'll just do pyramid on the other side. Hands on your hips, step your left foot back. Really think of your hips still being square. So if your hips aren't square, it means you have to change where your feet are now, because it means they definitely won't be square when you bend over. So one thing you can do if they aren't square is widen them, so you can move your left foot to the left or the right foot to the right, and that helps with that. And then whatever variation you took on the other side, take it on this side. So with your hands, either secret fist bump or secret prayer. You can step your foot back more. Yeah, even more. But make the toes go that way. And then widen out your foot. Yeah, nice. And then, but yeah, because then your hips can be square. and then bend over. Yep. Imagine you can cross-reference the bottom of your feet so that your big toes to your heels, to your pinky toes, to the other side of the heel are making a really strong base for you on the floor. Cool. One more cycle of breath, getting into the backs of the legs. Yeah. And then place your hands down to the ground and then step yourself back into a downward facing dog. This will be your last down dog, so really take any pedals or anything that you want. Great. Cool. And then come down to your knees. So we have the option to do headstand if you want to do it. If you're near a wall and want to move to a wall, you can do that. But I'll get us into it and then you can stop along the way however you want. So once again, we're in that, and if you don't want to do headstand, I recommend either coming back into a normal forward fold and putting your head on a block, or you can come back into that wide-legged straddle we did and put your head on the block again. But if you're doing headstand, follow me. Okay, so you're on your knees. What I always do is I grab for my opposite elbow, and then this looks weird, but then I just place it on the ground in front of me. Cool, because you want to make sure that your elbows or shoulders are the same width. Then I place my arms out again, similar to what we did in that forearm fold. And then I interlace my fingers in front of myself and then make a little cup with it so I don't bring my palms together. I just should have a little cup because that is where your head is going to go. And your forehead isn't going to go on the ground. It's going to be the crown of the head that goes on the ground. So you have your measure. And at any point, if you're like, I'm not sure if this is right, just once again, go back to that elbow thing and then straighten out from there and then just come back into it. Then you're going to place the crown of your head on the ground. You're going to tuck your toes up behind you, lift your knees off the ground, and then you're going to walk your feet in towards your face. If you want to stay here, that's awesome. If not, if you want to keep going, then you're going to bend one knee in towards you, and then bend the other knee in towards you. Cool. So you're back into seed pose. And then if you can keep going, then you're going to straighten your legs to the sky. Oh, shit. Cool. So if you want to try that at a wall or in center, go for it. And also you can just try it and then stop along the way. Like even just picking up one foot. Yeah. And you can try this at home because it's super fun. Yeah, but try not to hop whenever you're doing it. Try to come up smoothly without momentum. That's mostly for safety reasons. So take a few more cycles of breath in whatever position you're in.
Can you do it again, Dana?
Yeah. So you're there, then you're here. And then I'm gonna put my head, so the crown of my head is on top. Yeah. Yeah. But then and then bend your knee, like come into like this, you know how we did the seed pose on the ground? You bend your knee in towards your face. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you can, then what you'll need to do is end up like getting your hips up over here. Yeah. But it's hard. It's a lot of that work. Yeah.
Can you hold me?
Oh my God, I haven't adjusted headstand in so long.
Yeah.
The light. Oh my God. Okay. Bend your knees. Yeah, and then come down. Okay, and then when you're done with that, come into a child's pose. Find your forehead once again on something. Great job. Cool. Take a few more cycles of breath. And if you did do headstand and the back of your neck is feeling kind of wonky, that happens to me sometimes, You can stay in your child's pose, but then come into like a TV, what we call this TV watching pose. I don't know if that's actually what it's called. You can place your chin in your hands and then stay in the child's pose with your legs and then just sit here like you're watching TV or you're like a bored teenager or something. Cool. And then come into whatever comfortable seat you want to sit in, whether that's cross-legged on a blanket or a pillow or something, or if you want to come into Virasana with a block in between your feet. Do you want to sit on one? That was fine. Okay, cool. And we're going to take one more calming breath work that I also do whenever I have stressful Facebook fire drills that I deal with. So you're going to place your right thumb on your right nostril and your right ring finger on your left nostril, and just place them lightly there. You're going to place your two fingers in between your eyebrows, and then you're going to press down with your left ring finger as you inhale through your right nostril. Close both, hold on full like you did in the beginning, and then exhale out your left nostril. And then hold on empty for a sec. And then inhale through your left nostril. Close both. And then exhale out your right nostril. And then just keep going on your own time, inhaling through one nostril, holding, and then exhaling out the other. And this breath is called Nadi Shodhana, which is an alternate nostril breathing breath, clearly. And what this does is inhaling and exhaling through either side of the nervous system just helps calm down the nervous system and the brain. And it also, what I like is that it's distracting, so you have to really think about inhaling through one nostril and then not on the other, which then distracts you from whatever thoughts your mind is racing with. So keep going, finding that calm sense of just being. And then take two more rounds, one on the right and one on the left, then you're even. And then we'll all meet with our hands facing up, down in our lap, inhaling normally through the nose and exhaling normally out the nose. Cool. Bring your eyes to a close if they aren't already. We'll just take a moment here before we come into our final resting pose. And just noticing how the brain feels, how your lungs feel, how your shoulders feel. And then you can open your eyes, and Shavasana is your choice. So you can come to a normal lying down in Shavasana, or if you are near a wall, like you were for Headstand, you can bring your legs up the wall. Or if you have a couch, you can bring legs up the couch. So, do you want to do legs on the couch? Great. So Lawrence is going to demonstrate getting into this because he's next to a couch. So you can set up like a blanket or pillow or something right in front of your wall or your couch. And then you're going to sit to one side of it and then just roll onto your blanket thing and then put your legs on the couch or the wall. Or if you're coming into Shavasana, ooh, Lisa's doing a great thing where she's coming to the pose we did in the beginning. Also an amazing option to kind of bookend the class. And then once you're there, you can bring your eyes to a close. If there's a friend around or you have an Alexa, you can tell them to turn off the lights. And then just let your arms come down to either side. Let your palms face up. And then just keep breathing. Great. And then coming back to your breath, still breathing deeply into the lungs and all parts of the body. If your legs are up the wall or up the couch, you can bend your knees and place your feet on the wall and then just let yourself roll over onto the ground into a fetal position in some sort of graceful, calm way. And then if you're just lying on the ground, you can also roll over into a fetal position. And then once again, we'll all come up and meet in a comfortable seat. So you can either be seated cross-legged or in Virasana. And your eyes can stay closed if possible. We'll just take a few more breaths just to stay calm in this moment. Thanking our bodies for allowing us to move them in all these different ways. And that we have the space to do it in our homes. Bring your palms together at the center of your chest. And bring your thumb knuckles in between your eyebrows, what we call third eye center. And we'll all take one inhale and exhale together. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling out the mouth. And we'll end practice with the final bow. Namaste. Yay!
Yay.
Thanks.
Woohoo!
I'll stop recording.